In the year 1906, a man named Upton Sinclair published a book called The Jungle. It came at the same time in the middle of the Gilded Age of America. Upton Sinclair was a socialist. And at that time, his views were considered controversial. He had death threats. He had, everybody under the sun saying, go along to get along. The book, The Jungle, published in 1906 by Upton Sinclair, is the reason why right now you can go to the grocery store and expect clean meat. You don't have to find fingernails, hair, and other poisons in those meats. Now, I worked with people that work with the USDA, and that is gutted now by not Donald Trump and MAGA, but Nancy Pelosi, HAKEEM Jeffries, and the Democratic Party. And that what they want you to do is concentrate on other things while they sit back and vote on things that are going to make you more sick, give you cognitive dissonance about what is happening with immigration. Both parties want you to believe that they have the answer to everything. While just in the United States, the greatest genocide in American history is about to take place unless we can stop it. This is the Woke Socialist Podcast. My name is Vivian Zink. We are woke. We are socialist. We're going nowhere. And we are going to stand tall against fascism until there is no one left to stand. Now let me be clear about what is going on right now in America. You'll go to your TV out of laziness and turn on MSNBC. And Morning Joe will be sitting there talking to you about the great Democratic wins in New York. Unfortunately, for the Socialist Party, the state of Maryland was gravely ignored. Wes Moore became the Democratic, nominee again. He has done absolutely nothing for black people, and he is with the Aipac crowd, the go along to get along crowd. ADRIAN BOAFO was elected to replace Steny Hoyer. Now, once again, we didn't know 20 years ago that all of these individuals were connected to AIPAC and this was the go along to get along gang? We didn't know all that. But we know now. And we had a chance to do something about it. But here in the state of Maryland, it wasn't New York. It was just, we became for the socialist movement, in my opinion. And I could have done more. But Quincy Beribe had plenty of people out on the street. And there were democratic socialists here. And some of them were members of the DSA. And they didn't get elected because Maryland is not that important. Even though Maryland, as a democratic state, carries a lot of elections. It's a sure win. It's a sure win. Now, I'm going to work on that part because we got to make sure that Maryland does not fall to Donald Trump and does not fall to corporate Democrats next time. We're still working and we're still coming. But I just want to put that out for you. Now, I will say this also. I am getting sick and fucking tired of these old hat, bald-headed, white motherfuckers getting on YouTube just so they can stay relevant in the movement. And there is a movement, and you're not included, James Carville. When you sit up here and you talk about socialism as if we are some kind of, well, they call us anti-Jews. And they're doing the same thing as the Trump administration. There's a reason for this. Please take a moment to like and subscribe to this video, because I'm sure you're going to find in the future that what we have to say is very important to how we go forward from here. We can fight this. It's not going to be on the terms you expect, but we will fight with our lives for this country. So anyway, James Carville gets on there and he demonizes socialism. Oh, these are the demons of the Democratic Party and everybody says they're anti-Jewish. Let me tell you something. Let's cut the shit. I have been a socialist since 1990 something. Okay, I married a German man. German-American man, I'm sorry. And moved in 1993 into the residence of now Senator Jamie Raskin's mother and rented an English apartment. If I was an anti-Semite, why would I move into a Jewish household? We don't do that. Especially somebody who looks like me. What the fuck is wrong with you idiots? See, this is the thing with white Democrats and black Democrats and everybody who has been elected into what I call the brown bag brotherhood, I'm sorry. You assume that everybody that is a Democrat is the same thing, and it's not. If I had zero tolerance for Jews, do you think I would move into a Jewish household? You people are just as sick as MAGA with that rhetoric. And at the same time, Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski get on Morning Joe and talk about our victories after they went down right after Donald Trump got elected and kissed his fucking ass. Are you kidding me right now? I remember that. I don't have the luxury of being white and going on with my day, pretending none of this ever happened. I see reality for what it is. And you old heads that think you have all the answers and that think that every socialist is an anti-Semite, give us a little bit of room for a moment. Because you have dominated the propaganda for too long. Have a cup of shut the fuck up. Because right now, we don't need your wisdom because you have none. You are sundowning just like Donald Trump right now. This is what you think, that the 1980s Nancy Pelosi shit is going to work now. It's not. We're done with you. Stop trying to be relevant, James Carville. I used to have respect for you, but you are the biggest disappointment to the Democratic Party right now. And if Lincoln Square or whatever, the Lincoln Project, latches onto that, then so be it. I'm done with you too. Because I tried to respect you, but you didn't earn it. You assumed that black voters were at your disposal. You assumed a blue wave, just as slave masters assumed that black people were going to be liking enslavement. This is not the 1960s. This is not the 1860s. This is not 1776. And it sure fuck is not 1619. The Democratic Party, under its current leadership, including HAKEEM Jeffries, does not dictate how black and brown people vote in America. You have not earned our vote for 10 years. So you don't get to tell us what defines the Democratic Party. You know why? Because we don't belong to it anymore. And we don't give a fuck. Yes, I think a third party is forming. There is a club in America of homeless people and sick people and disabled people and black people and brown people and people that are being gunned down in the streets, run over in the streets right now in the state of New Jersey by government-funded entities that you voted for. Right now, there are Supreme Court justices that you work for, Democrats, every time you vote to fund the government under this administration. There is right now a multitude of countries that think you are demented and sick and lost in your ways, and are no longer willing to follow you because you have put Israel before the United States of America in the interest of filling your own pockets. There are 340 million Americans in the United States. And there are billions more that are willing to take you on. We don't need Aipac as democratic socialist. We don't need Pepsi or Coke. We don't need to be sponsored by Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, or Elon Musk. There are 340 million Americans in the United States. Think about all the people in all the countries who think you are fucking us over right now and are willing to donate money to our cause. Think about that. Now I want to talk for a moment of what I call Slumdog millionaires. These are the Nancy Pelosi's of the Democratic Party. Let's call a thing a thing. What you have right now is a segment of white society in the Democratic Party who have black people tap dancing like back in the day. You have white individuals just like they did in the Republican Party. You have white individuals in the Democratic Party right now that are crafting the future of their children on the backs of people like HAKEEM Jeffries, Wes Moore, and Cory Booker. But I digress. Let me say it like this. Back in the 1960s and 70s, if you were alive back then, after Jim Crow, the Civil Rights Movement, and all that, still in certain areas in America, you had something called brown bag parties, brown bag gatherings, brown bag picnics, brown bag churches. And the rule was, and yes, I can speak on this, in white America, you cannot. If you were lighter than a brown paper bag, you can get into these particular circles. Now, certain people like Walter White of the NAACP and Thurgood Marshall would not subscribe to these certain societies. However, white people would promote these things, where if you were high yellow, as we call them, or more to the white, then you were more widely accepted to skate the red line laws. You could get elected to office maybe if you could pass. We called it passing back then. But damn, if you were dark skinned and you went to a party anywhere in the DMV or anywhere else back in the 1960s and 70s and you weren't invited, you had to match that brown paper bag. And this is exactly what Nancy Pelosi has crafted in the Democratic House of Representatives. HAKEEM Jeffries and Cory Booker are right now the paper bag boys of Nancy Pelosi. And I am thoroughly disappointed that Wes Moore did not lose this election as governor, this whatever primary. Because he has absolutely done nothing since he has got into office for black people in the state of Maryland, even though he ran on that vote. And not only that, he sat by and did nothing while other blue states were gerrymandering so they could defeat Donald Trump. He was still considering. You know why? Because he was posting too many fucking pictures of his white wife or whatever the fuck denomination. I don't give a fuck. All I know is Wes Moore is into himself. And so now, in one of the most progressive states in the United States of America since the 1980s, not since recently, we are stuck with corporate Democrats. Because unfortunately, we couldn't get any support from Democratic Socialists. Now, I would have been out on the streets in full force with zero money, because I'm probably the poorest person you will ever know, rallying for these people. But I did not know that no one was going to come here. And it is indicative of exactly why every Democratic election is lost in southern states. Nobody ever goes. Even the socialists. To states like Maryland, Alabama, Florida, Mississippi, Louisiana. They never go there. Why? I don't know. All I know is this. I'm not going to tap dance for Democrats. The way I was raised, that wasn't an option. What I'm going to do is prepare to defeat an Aipac Democrat in the next election. Now, I am disabled and everything is stacked against me. But I'm going to start right now. Not because I want to become famous or I want clickbait, or I give two shits about what anybody thinks of me. If you think Grant Plattner or Miss Chevalier had skeletons in the closet, just fucking wait. I'm not intimidated by that. Being judged is the least of my worries. Being effective and justifying my space on this planet is more important than anything anybody could ever throw at me to defeat my character. I'm not here for my character. Since the 1990s, I was told by Native American elders, I am here for the people. So whatever you dig up, have at it. Get started now. Fuck it. But I tell you what, I think that the Democratic Party is going to be very disappointed in their hubris and the assumption that black Americans, red Americans, and brown Americans are a sure win. You know what's a sure win? The Democratic Socialist Party. Because everybody is tired of every last one of you in Congress and the Senate. This is the Woke Socialist Podcast. Have the day that you voted for.